everybody, it's Lisa Marie here. Hi my sweet lifers. I have the lovely pleasure today of introducing you to my sweet daughter, Victoria Ann. You guys have not seen her yet on the channel. There's going to be a lot of cool new episodes in the DIY section of the Sweet Life, and we are excited to share with you what we're doing today, which is candle making. And one of the things that we wanted to do is we wanted to sort of follow up with something I did back when I first started the channel, which was make these beautiful little containers decorative from the wheat yogurt. And I went back and looked at what I had done in the original series of the DIY, and I showed you guys how to decoupage these and put pretty little stickers on them. And all this time I put a little votive in there that you can just battery operate and just drop them in. But we wanted to take it a step further, and Victoria Ann wanted to do some candle making like the real deal. And so we got together and we started studying the recipes, and we've come up with what I think is the easiest way for you guys to make candles for the holidays, for gifts, for teacher gifts, just for your friends, whatever you want to do, or just enjoy yourselves actually. So anyway, the first thing that we have to do is we have to get the wee jars clean. And so that's been a little bit of a daunting task. And I'll tell you, this is what we did. I soaked these guys for 24 hours with some dish soap and some vinegar, some white vinegar. And then the sticker part just peeled right off, no problem. But the sticky adhesive is the thing that you have to get rid of too, because nobody wants that on their candles. So we used some of that goof off, or I guess
Gooby Gone.
Gooby Gone. We smeared that on. Be sure you use gloves, especially those of you that have nails, because that's not cool. But anyway, we got it off. We got them washed. We got them dried. And then the next thing we did is we laid out all of our supplies. And so we created some recipes for you guys. Actually, Victoria Ann did. And she's going to share those with you in just a minute. Pulled some dried flowers, some dried lavender buds. Just put together a few things that I had up there in the art room. But also some supplies that you're going to need as well is some soy wax flakes. And guys, this stuff is easy to use. It's the easiest, I think, to do of all the candle making. And you can buy it in 1 pound, 5 pound, 10 pound, 20 pound bags on Amazon. You probably can pick it up too at your local hobby store. But I got these, and they smell, it's interesting, they almost smell like vanilla, but it's not. So don't try to eat it. Anyway, these guys microwave up. We did some trial and error. We did try them in the oven. They melt down if you do it that way, and then you have to put more in, and they melt down again, and you have to put more in, and it takes a lot longer. And my son-in-law had this brilliant idea, because he's brilliant, and we packed it full of, the flakes. So we put a Pyrex, filled it full of these, and then he microwaved it for 10 minutes. And so now we have this liquefied soy wax that we just have to pour into our containers. And so we've got a couple of recipes. Victoria Ann, share with everybody what you've come up with.
We have Mountain Trail, which is frankincense, pine, and sandalwood. We have Bright Pine, which is forest, lemon, and cedar. Autumn Breeze, which is orange, clove, ginger, and cinnamon. And Spring Sunset, jasmine, lang lang, and cedar.
Okay. And so the other thing you kids can do too is if you're wanting to do these for maybe for the holiday, you might think about maybe using some peppermint or some cinnamon. And you can actually get the cinnamon sticks and break them up and stick them in there as well to make it more of a Christmas time or even for the fall. So the first thing we do is after you've melted this, 10 minutes in the microwave, guys, is we pour it into the jars. And so I'm going to pour it very carefully into the jar, and I want you to leave a little bit of headspace. Remember, when we're doing our canning, I always tell you to leave headspace so that there's time for it to be canned and then it doesn't overflow on your jar. So do leave a 1/4 inch of headspace there, and you just pour this in, and we're going to do one batch at a time. That one had a little dollop of unmelted in there, but no worries there, because this does set up opaque, so they'll all go back to being the original color of the soy wax flakes, which is that creamy white color. And so you do have a little bit of time with this. This has been out for long enough for me to actually hold it and not burn my arm, burn my hand. So the first thing is we're going to take the first recipe. This recipe is the Mountain Trail one, and I want you to find, as good as you can buy, essential oils. You can go online. You can find these at your local hobby store. They're really easy to find, but you want to make sure you get as good as you can find, because honestly, the more, I hate to say this, but the more expensive more money you invest in your essential oils, the richer they're going to be. You can always find lavender scent, but lavender essential oil is going to be more potent, and it's going to smell better in your candles when it's burning. So you want to make sure that you spend the money on that. Same thing with the milk bath, same thing with the potpourris. So always be sure that you invest the money in that, or otherwise your candles are going to look good, but they might not put off as much of a fragrance as what you're looking for your home, or even your bathtub. I love to use these in the bathtub. So we're going to take this. This is a little bit of sandalwood, and we're going to do a hand tilt of about 3 drops of that. And then we're going to do, Victorian, you can come right behind me. What's that one?
Frankincense.
So do another 3 drops of frankincense. 3 or 4 drops. You just sort of let it go. Be sure you put your little toppers back on there too, because that will matter if you're storing them sideways. You don't want to come back and have all of your fragrances gone. This one is the pine needles, guys. I'm going to do just 2 of that. It's very potent. Drizzle. You could use your droppers. I don't have enough droppers to do as many recipes as we're actually doing today. So there's the topper for that one, sis.
Okay.
Alright, now the next step that I want you to do is I want you to get a stick. I always keep these because I'm always skewering things on the grill. And I want you to stir in your essential oils to your soy wax mixture. Pretty easy. Get it all in there and get it all distributed. And then after you get that done, it's now time to make a decision about how you want these to look. If you want them to have a little extra doodah in them. You can see in front here I've got some rose petals, I've got some tiny little rose crinkled up, I've got some beautiful little rose buds, and I've got some lavender. Since none of the actual scents that we've done in this particular candle involves those scents, I'm not going to do anything with those. I'm going to let these just be the way they are, and I'll show you about decorating the outside. We can indicate on the outside of it what it is that we've got to look forward to when we light this thing up. The very next thing you want to do is you take what, you can also get this all online. You get a little wick, and they usually come with these little holders. And if you can't find them, you can buy them separately. You know, you can buy just the wicks. You can buy this. You can even get some wood wicks that crackle, which we're going to be doing shortly. Victoria and I've got some other recipes for Christmas specifically, and more masculine scents to give to some of those men in your life for the holidays. But you just set this down in there just like that, and it actually rests very nicely on the edge of your weed jar. And I'm going to push this up a little bit. You can wiggle it till you get it where you want it. What you'd like to see happen is for that to end up somewhere sort of in the middle. And if you need to bend it a little bit, you can. I'm going to get it where it's set down in like that, and I'll show you so that you can see it's down in there like that. Now that you just let sit. If you were in a hurry and you're doing mass production of these for like teacher gifts or something, you could put them on a tray. You could pop them in the refrigerator for probably an hour or 2, and you could get away with getting these things knocked out and made within a matter of like 3 or 4 hours, like ready to go give. But because there's decorations involved and there's other things like decoupage and things, typically when we make candles, we're making them in batches like this, and we're letting them sit overnight and then get to it the next day kind of thing, or in another couple of days as far as the decorations go. It gives us a chance to look and see what stickers we might want to use, what kind of special little ribbons and different things. So these guys are all going to get their wicks put on them, just like that. And so we'll take this, let's get these wicks on those, and then we'll make the next batch. We've got the other recipe to do, and I'll show you that. Set those over there. These smell really good, guys.
Mm-hmm.
They smell really good. Okay. The next recipe we're going to make is what, sister?
Spring sunset.
Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is where I was telling you guys, you'll notice there's a little bit of that in the back, in the bottom. We did put this in the oven to try it first. You know, originally the recipe was to put the shavings in the glass jars and stick them in the oven. And that's fine. It probably will work just fine, but you know, but Justin's a genius, right? So this getting to be really, really quick is how I like things to go. I like things to go down fast because I've got other things going on in the Sweet Life Garden. Again, don't forget your headspace. Pour, pour, pour. Pour, pour, pour. Pour, pour, pour. And if you know, which I do right now, that these are going to actually get some of these little dried flowers, you will leave a little bit more headspace because you're going to need to accommodate that going in. Now, what I will do is, let's see, first we're doing this one. Spring Sunset has jasmine, yang yang, and cedar. Okay, so we're going to do, this is the lang lang. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then a little cedar. Again, go sparingly with the cedar. 1 or 2 drops should be sufficient. Just don't need a lot of that. It's really powerful. And then the last but not least will be the jasmine. Love jasmine, guys. Jasmine and gardenia and lavender and geranium are some of the best things in the world to use when you're making homemade candles. Now, we do have flowers, so let's do some of these nice sized rose petals. And so we're going to stick those in here. Just put a few in each one of your jars. And if you have an apothecary garden and you're following me on the channel, and you'll see that I've got different things planted. I actually have calendula out there right now and some fresh lavender too. There's a lot of really neat things that you can do with your flowers in your garden. So if you want to, you can go out there and pick them, dry them yourselves, and then incorporate that into your candles as well, which is really a nice extra thing to do. Now, what I love about these particular petals is that they do not suspend themselves too much in the actual soy. They actually go down into it, which is nice because when you have this thing set up, you'll actually be able to see in suspension the different petals that are there in different parts of the actual jar. And so these guys, this is a really good example. You can see in there how some are suspended at the top, others are down at the bottom. And you'll be able to enjoy that as you're watching it burn. Same thing here, we're going to do the exact same thing we just did. Set this thing up just like that, and then set it to a side so that it can get hardened up a little bit. And then at the very end, I'm going to show you this because it's time for me. I think I'm going to need to actually get some more of those flakes. I'm going to go find my son-in-law and have him do more of that for us. But he is going to get us more of this soy wax flakes ready to go for the last batch. The last 2 batches, actually, the bright pine and the autumn breeze. Same thing though, we gave you the recipes. Everything will be in the episode notes for you to follow along if you want to copy what we did with the essential oils. I wanted to show you again at the very end, this is what they look like finished. This is actually a gardenia, and I did put some of the rose petals in it, and you can see them down at the bottom. See how they're suspended and how pretty that is. And because there's a lot of the essential oil in there, and it's a good quality essential oil, it smells really good, just right out, just done, like we did this afternoon. Same thing with this lavender one as well. Just really lovely, just really nice. Yes. Now, the other thing I wanted to share with you before we go is I want you to think about your decorations. This one obviously did a little decoupage, and then I used one of those wonderful paper stickers. And I've got a lot of that upstairs in my art room, and you guys can buy them in bulk if you want to. But if you have an idea or a theme that you want to go with, you can do like I've done here. I've wrapped this burlap ribbon around the string around here and just used a little bit of hot glue and tapped it down so that it stays in place. Anytime that I get anything like a bouquet of flowers from the grocery store, if there's anything that's in there that's just special, like sometimes there's some really neat ribbon that they use to wrap it up with, or also there's some tissue paper. When you're doing a basket for a teacher gift, you could do the same thing with that paper. Use that paper again so that you don't throw it away and you don't waste it. and tuck in some of the orange and some of the yellow, which they're doing right now because of the fall, and then tuck in one of these candles and a little milk bath and maybe a little bookmark or a little book. So I hope that you have found some value in this. Sissy and I have had a lot of fun making them. We've got a few more left to make, as you can see. I'll get Justin out here in a second and we'll microwave up some more. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon on the channel. If you did enjoy it and you found some value in it, do us a favor, like and share. Don't forget to ring that bell. And we'll see you next time on another Sweet Life DIY. Take care.